man didn't come up with this on his own, you know. The silent treatment, those fake apologies, the backhanded compliments, and how this guy twists everything so it feels like you overreacted. He's not broken, he's following instructions. There is an entire community of men, huge, organized, and growing, literally studying how to break your confidence, mess with your head, and make you chase them. It's called the Manosphere. And no, it is not just Andrew Tate screaming into a mic like the dangerous lunatic that he is. It's podcasts and YouTubers, dating coaches, and anonymous message boards. It's Fresh and Fit. It's Tate. It's The Rational Male. And then it's 100 other guys that I won't even name here because I am not giving them free promo. These men are not struggling to communicate. They're not emotionally unavailable. They are learning how to control you, and they're calling it leadership, and it's working. I'm Lisa Sunny. I specialize in toxic and abusive relationships, and I created the Trauma Bond Recovery course to help women get out of this confusion and actually rebuild after they've been in a relationship that's abusive. My channel is for the women who are tired of second guessing themselves and just being gaslit into thinking that this is normal relationship drama. So subscribe because I say the quiet parts out loud. I also have a podcast called Real Talk with Lisa Sunny, Relationships Uncensored. Okay, so when women say, my God, it's like he's following a script, that's because they literally are. There are actual how-to guides out there on how to be cold on purpose, how to get you emotionally addicted, and how to stay high value by giving you nothing while demanding everything. This is where phrases like maintain frame, dread game, and punish bad behavior come from. That last one, it's literally teaching men to treat their girlfriends like misbehaving dogs. They're not talking about love or intimacy or even connection. They're just teaching each other how to win control. And no, I'm not saying that every man is doing this, so calm down, guys. Not all men, but many are. And it's especially the younger ones who are feeling really unsure of themselves, right? They're struggling to feel any kind of power, and they turn to these wildly dangerous spaces for answers. They're watching those YouTube clips, they're scrolling TikTok, they're sitting in Reddit threads for hours. And instead of learning how to communicate or have confidence or build trust, they're just being told to never apologize, to never explain themselves, right? To emotionally pull back and let her come to you. That's not self-help. That's emotional manipulation wrapped up in a podcast. These guys are being taught to withhold affection, to ignore your feelings, to lie, to pull away when you get too close, and only to give you enough to just keep you hooked, right? And women are confused. They're calling it confusion. Well, the Manosphere calls it strategy. And it works because it messes with your nervous system, right? That whole push and pull, all of that unpredictability, those random little breadcrumbs, it creates an addiction and it creates obsession. But you're not in love with this loser. You are being trained to chase what hurts, and I want you to see it. These guys literally call it the dread game. That's when they make you feel like they could leave you at any moment. They never want you to question them, right? Never complain, never get too comfortable. So you're always performing. You're always earning your place. You think he's pulling away because he's what? Scared of intimacy, right? You think that he contradicts himself because he's emotionally immature. You think he's going cold because he doesn't know how to express himself. No, he's doing it on purpose, and it's textbook. I hear from women all the time who are like, Lisa, it feels like he studied me. And I'm like, yeah, he probably did. These men literally research us. They mind map, they con you. They think they know how women feel, how women attach. They know exactly when to breadcrumb you, when to go silent, when to ghost you, and when to pretend they give a crap. This isn't trauma, it's a power move. Now, I already know the comments I'm going to get from men, right? From those men. I'm 40, I'm bitter, I probably have 3 cats and no man, I'm past my prime, I'm gonna die alone, blah, 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 right? And if I say I have a man and no cats, they'll call my man a beta, or they'll say they pity him having to come home to me. And honestly, if that was the cost of seeing through this nonsense, then I'll take the cats and I'll let them DJ my funeral, because women over 35 were dangerous. We've seen it. We've lived it. We know the game. We've played it, lost ourselves in it, and now we're done. And that's exactly why they age us out before we wise up. You get that, right? They've built a system that discredits women the moment we stop being easy to manipulate. Because once you stop chasing male approval, you become a threat, not just to one man, to the whole setup. That's why the bitter old woman over 40 trope even exists. It's not a coincidence that the moment a woman develops basic discernment, self-worth, and a voice, that the world tells her she's washed up, right? She's not hot enough. She's not fun enough. She's not worth listening to. They don't want us wise. They want us wide-eyed and hopeful, right? Believing in their potential, believing in the one, believing it's our job to heal a man who won't even admit that he's hurting anyone. And that kind of thinking, it keeps women so stuck. I see it every single day, but it keeps men in control. Because if younger women don't start listening to older women, if every new generation has to learn the hard way, man, that system keeps going. And it's not just sad, it's intentional. Now that directly ties into the next trap, right? The illusion of being a high value woman. I want you to run at full speed away from men who even use the phrase high value women. And on that note, men who use the phrase alpha male and beta male. These dudes love to say it like it's a compliment, right? Like it's the standard that we want to live up to. But let's be real. When a man in the manosphere calls a woman high value, what he means is obedient and quiet and low maintenance, the chill girl, right? She doesn't challenge him. She doesn't have any emotional needs. She can take care of herself. She's grateful for the scraps, but she's never going to outshine him. A high value woman in their world is one who knows her place, and she is young because they expect that her youth is going to make her naive. I have literally heard men say that they can shape younger women. You see those street interviews, right? They call them malleable, and they don't have trauma yet, right? Almost like they know that men cause trauma to women and they want to get them before that. They want to be the one to traumatize the woman. You can be brilliant, funny, gorgeous, successful, but if you say no, if you set boundaries, if you want an equal partnership, suddenly you're too masculine, too emotional, you're too much. That's why they'll ask you out. And if you say no, they're going to say you're ugly anyway, right? Because it's not about value. It is about control. They sell this fantasy that if you become this perfectly composed, effortlessly hot, endlessly agreeable woman, that you're going to be chosen, right? They're going to pick you. Oh, but here's the truth, right? The moment that you start asking for reciprocity, the moment you stop playing small and realize that you have been exploited the entire time, you're a threat. And they're going to flip the script and tell you that you're the problem. So you know what? I'm not interested in being high value by someone else's definition. I'm interested in being whole. And that's exactly what these dudes can't handle. You want to know what I bring to the table? Women say, I am the table. And I don't disagree because that's kind of a funny, cheeky response. But my answer is nothing. I bring nothing because it's true. For a man who asks that, I bring you nothing. A good man would never ask that. And I'll happily be his whole table, right? But let's talk about one more myth that actually just needs to die. The idea that these men are just emotionally unavailable. They're not unavailable. They're exploitative. They're intentional. Unavailable would be like distant or detached or inconsistent. These men are not confused. They are calculated. Wake up. They give you just enough to keep you hoping, right? A little tenderness, a little flowers, a little apology, a flash of the guy that you fell for in the beginning. That's not clumsiness, it's conditioning. And it is the exact same pattern used in addiction and gambling, intermittent reinforcement. The unpredictability of it is what makes it so powerful. It makes your nervous system kind of light up and you will always chase the next high. These guys are not avoidant. They are perfectly tuned in. They know when you're breaking down. They know when you're about to walk away. And that's exactly why when they come close, right, not to love you, but to sort of reset that hook. We call it emotional unavailability because it sounds softer, right? But it's war. We have spent years trying to diagnose abusive men like they're puzzles, right? Maybe he's a narcissist. Maybe he has trauma. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's avoidant. Maybe his mom didn't love him. Maybe his dad abandoned him. Maybe his ex really was a B word. What if he's just entitled? What if he's not emotionally wounded? He's just lazy and power hungry. What if he's not confused, but he's following a playbook? Because that's what this is, right? It's a belief system. It's not a disorder. A system that teaches men that women are beneath them, that our emotions are manipulation, that love is control, and that the more we suffer, the more power they hold. And women, We're still being taught to love harder and try harder and wait longer. If we just say it the right way or cry the right way or make yourself small enough, it's just going to click for him. But if he learned to break you on purpose, what amount of patience do you think is actually going to fix him? If you're stuck in this kind of dynamic, if you're stuck in a trauma bond with somebody like this, somebody who just always seems to know exactly how to just drag you back in, even when you know better, I want you to know that this is not love. It is not. It is engineering, and it's not your fault because they're doing it on purpose. That's exactly what I help women with in the Trauma Bond Recovery course. So if you're ready to just stop feeling like you're the crazy one, like you're chasing clarity that just never will come, like you're addicted to someone who is destroying you, check out the course because it is not too late to take back your power. They want you to choose better men. Choose this. No man is better than a man like this. So comment if you've seen tactics like this in action. Share this if you're done just staying quiet about it. And subscribe if you're done letting men who study how to hurt women define your idea of love. Because women, we're not confused anymore. We're done playing the game.